Adanna had always believed that heartbreak only came from love, that the worst pain a person could feel was losing the person they had given their heart to. She was wrong. Her best friend, the person she trusted more than anyone, had just shattered her heart. Adanna and Chikaima met on their first day at the university campus. The lecture hall was packed with new students. Adanna had arrived early, slipping into a seat near the window, her eyes scanning the room. She was used to being alone and used to observing before speaking. Then Chikaima walked in, radiant, confident and completely at ease. She wore a bright yellow dress that hugged her curves, her long braids swinging behind her. She scanned the room like she owned it. Then she spotted Adanna sitting alone. "Hey," she said, dropping into the seat beside Adanna without hesitation. "Do you know if this is where GS 101 is holding?" Adanna nodded. "Yes." "Great," Chikaima grinned and stretched out her hand. "I'm Chikaima. I'm Adanna. Nice to meet you." And that was it. That was the moment everything changed. From that day forward, they were inseparable. They attended lectures together and did almost everything together. Adanna was the serious one, reserved, thoughtful, and always cautious. Chikaima was the life of the party, the kind of girl who could walk into a room and command attention without trying. She had an effortless charm, an energy that made people want to be around her. In their second year, they decided to move off campus together. It wasn't easy convincing their parents, but they managed. Their tiny apartment was everything they had dreamed of, where they spent most of their nights watching movies. It was in that apartment that they made their silent promise to each other that no matter what happens, they'll always have each other. They had no idea how easily a promise could be broken. It began in their third year when Obinna walked into their lives. Obinna was everything a girl could want: tall, dark, and effortlessly charming. He was in his final year studying medicine, the type of guy who spoke with quiet confidence and had an air of mystery around him. He wasn't loud or overly friendly, yet people gravitated towards him. He was the dream guy for a lot of girls on campus. But Obinna had eyes for only one person: Adanna. At first, she thought it was a joke. Why would someone like Obinna be interested in her when he could have any girl he wanted? But Obinna was persistent. It started with simple gestures like helping her carry her books, sending her good morning texts that made her heart race in ways she didn't want to admit. Then came the late night calls, the long conversations where he made her laugh like she hadn't done in a long time. Before she knew it, she was falling. Chikaima noticed before Adanna even admitted it to herself. "You've been smiling a lot at your phone these days," Chikaima teased one evening as they sat in their living room. "Who is the lucky guy?" Adanna felt shy. "It's nothing," Chikaima gasped dramatically. "It's Obinna, isn't it?" She nudged Adanna playfully. "Adanna the heartbreaker." Adanna laughed. "Stop it." Chikaima grinned. "I knew it. I mean, it makes sense. You're smart, you're beautiful, and you're a wife material. Of course, a guy like Obinna would notice you." Adanna smiled, relieved. Chikaima was happy for her. Everything was fine. But then things started to change. Adanna spent more time with Obinna. It wasn't intentional, but she found herself texting him more than she texted Chikaima. Even when Obinna had long study nights in class, Adanna would join him, losing track of time in their shared silence. She didn't notice how often she declined Chikaima's movie nights, how she no longer asked, "What should we eat today?" because most nights she wasn't even home for dinner. One evening, Adanna returned to the apartment and found Chikaima sitting in the living room, arms crossed. "We need to talk," Chikaima said. Adanna sighed. "Not now, Chikaima. I'm really, really tired." Chikaima's eyes darkened. "Tired from spending all your time with Obinna?" Adanna blinked. "What?" Chikaima stood up. "You've changed, Adanna. We used to do everything together, but now it's always Obinna this, Obinna that." She shook her head. "You didn't even tell me when you guys made it official." I had to find out from someone else. Adanna, filled with guilt, replied, I didn't mean to keep it from you. I just wanted to be sure first. Chikaima scoffed. Sure? Sure about what? That he's a better company than me? Adanna frowned. That's not fair, Chikaima. Don't say that. No. What's not fair is watching my best friend slip away like I don't even matter anymore. Chikaima's voice wavered, but she quickly masked it with a smirk. You think Obina will always be there? Guys like him get bored easily, and when he does, don't expect me to be waiting for you. Adanna stared at her, hot flashing across her face. Why would you say that to me? Chikaima shrugged. Because it's true. For the first time in years, silence stretched between them. Thick, heavy, uncomfortable silence. Adanna wanted to say something, to fix whatever was breaking between them, but she didn't know how to. So instead, she turned away. She didn't know that that was only the beginning. One Friday night, the air was thick with the scent of rain, and the street lights outside their apartment flickered as thunder rumbled in the distance. Adana had spent the evening at Obina's place, helping him prepare for an important test. He had fallen asleep while they were studying, and Adanna, not wanting to wake him, decided to head to church for an evening Bible program, after which she headed home. She was tired but happy. Things with Obinna felt right, even if her friendship with Chikaima had been tense lately. She had promised herself that she would talk to Chikaima that weekend and make things right between them. But fate had other plans. As she climbed the stairs to their apartment, Adanna noticed something odd. The door was slightly open. Her heart skipped a beat. Had Chikaima forgotten to lock the door? That was unlike her. Cautiously, she pushed the door open and stepped inside. The living room was dimly lit, but it didn't take long for her to notice the two figures sitting on the couch, Chikaima and Obinna. Adanna froze. Obinna's arm was placed casually over Chikaima's shoulder, and their fingers were intertwined. Chikaima was leaning into him, laughing softly, the same laugh she used whenever she was flirting. At the sound of the door closing, they both turned. Obinna jumped up instantly, his face going pale. Adanna! But Adanna's gaze was locked onto Chikaima, who, unlike Obinna, didn't look guilty. No, she looked satisfied. A slow smirk spread across Chikaima's lips as she crossed her legs. Oh, hey, babe. You're back early today. Adanna's stomach twisted. What's going on here? Adanna's voice was barely above a whisper, but the storm raging inside her made it feel deafening. Obinna ran a hand through his hair. Adanna, let me explain. Don't. Adanna's eyes didn't leave Chikaima's. I want to hear it from her. Chikaima leaned back against the couch, stretching like a cat that had just been overfed. We were just talking, oh. Talking? Adanna repeated, her voice shaking. She gestured at their intertwined hands. That doesn't look like talking, Chikaima. Chikaima shrugged. Maybe not, but does it really matter? Adanna felt like she had been punched in the gut. Obinna took a step towards her. Adanna, I swear it's not what you think. I came over to check on Chikaima because I was worried about you two. We got talking and he kissed me. Chikaima cut in smoothly. Silence ensued. Adanna's entire body went cold. Obinna's head snapped towards Chikaima. What? That's not what happened. Oh, please, Chikaima interrupted. Don't act like you didn't enjoy it. Obinna looked at Adanna with panic in his eyes. I didn't kiss her, Adanna, I swear. Chikaima laughed, standing up slowly. She stepped closer to Adanna, her heels clicking against the tiled floor. You always act like you own everything, like you deserve all the good things in life just because you are the quiet, perfect one. But news flash, Adanna, you're not that special, okay? People change their minds. Men changed their minds. Adanna gasped. Where is all this coming from? Chikaima tilted her head. You're still acting like you don't know what I'm talking about? She turned to Obinna, her gaze playful. Tell her, Obinna. Tell her what we talked about, how you've been feeling unsure about her, and how you wanted something different. Obinna shook his head furiously. Adanna, she's twisting things. But Adanna wasn't listening anymore. The pain in her chest was suffocating. It wasn't just about Obinna. He was just a man. he was replaceable. But Chikaima was like a sister to her other half, and now that bond was gone, shredded into pieces that she could never put back together. Adanna swallowed the lump in her throat. You did this just to hurt me? Chikaima's expression didn't waver. I did this because I could. Something inside Adanna shattered. She turned and walked out the door. Chikaima didn't stop her. Obinna didn't chase after her. And that was how she knew she had lost them both. The night air was cold, but Adanna barely felt it. She was in pain, filled with so much anger and heartache from the betrayal. As she kept walking aimlessly on campus, her phone buzzed in her hand. A message from Chikaima. Meet me at our spot. We need to talk. Adanna almost laughed at the audacity, but she decided to give her the benefit of doubt. Maybe it was a prank, she thought to herself. When she arrived, Chikaima was standing under the large almond tree, arms crossed, looking as if nothing had happened. Her red dress, Adanna's red dress, clung to her like a second skin, and her braids fell over her shoulders in soft waves. She looked effortlessly beautiful, like a villain in a movie who wasn't sorry for what she had done. Adanna clenched her fists. Why did you do that? Chikaima let out a small, amused sigh. Why what, Adanna? You know what? Adanna's voice was cold, steady, but inside she was shaking. Chikaima took a step forward. You act like this is the end of the world. Men come and go, Adanna. Obinna was never yours to keep. Adanna held her breath. I didn't keep him. He chose me. Chikaima laughed and replied, and now he's choosing me. Adanna felt like the ground beneath her was splitting apart. You planned this, didn't you? Her voice was barely above a whisper, but the weight of her words felt heavy in the air. Chikaima shrugged. Let's just say I wanted to prove a point. What point? That you're not as untouchable as you think. Adanna's hands trembled. I trusted you, Chikaima. Chikaima's face twisted into something almost unrecognizable, a combination of bitterness, resentment, something deeper that Adanna hadn't seen before. That's the problem, Adanna. You trusted me, but you never saw me. You walked around with your perfect little life, your good grades, your good girl reputation, and everyone just adored you, even Obinna. Her voice cracked slightly before she covered it with a smirk. So I took something from you, just to see if you would finally feel what it's like to be the one left behind. Adanna's chest tightened. But you were never left behind. Chikaima laughed and continued. The moment Obinna showed up, you changed. You started making excuses, cancelling plans, skipping our movie nights, and I was supposed to just accept that, to sit there and smile while you replaced me. Adanna swallowed hard. She hadn't realized she had been so caught up in Obinna, in the rush of new love, that she had ignored the cracks forming between them. But this wasn't the way to fix it. I loved you like a sister, Chikaima, Adanna whispered, her voice breaking. You could have talked to me. Chikaima's eyes flickered with something unexplainable. Regret, pain, but it was gone as quickly as it appeared. And what would that have changed? Adanna exhaled shakily, wiping at her damp cheeks. You didn't just take Obinna from me, you destroyed us. Chikaima tilted her head, smiling slightly. Maybe we were never as strong as we thought. Adanna stared at her, searching for the girl she had once loved like family. The girl who had promised they would never let anything come between them. That girl was gone. Adanna took a deep breath and said, I hope he was worth it. Chikaima blinked, surprised by the steadiness in her voice. Adanna turned and walked away. She didn't wait for a response. She didn't give Chikaima a chance to say anything else, because some wounds never heal. Some betrayals leave scars too deep to forget, and some friendships are never meant to last forever. Adanna had always believed that heartbreak only came from love, that the worst pain a person could feel was losing the person they had given their hearts to. She had been wrong. The pain of losing Chikaima cut deeper than any breakup ever could. It wasn't just the betrayal, it was the memories that came with it. Now, all of it was gone. For weeks, Adanna moved through life in a daze. She still attended lectures. She still smiled when necessary, but everything felt hollow. The apartment that was once filled with laughter was now cold and silent. Chikaima had moved out almost immediately after their fight, as if she couldn't wait to erase every trace of their friendship. Adanna told herself she was fine. She told herself she didn't care. She would reach for her phone to text Chikaima about a funny lecturer moment, only to remember that they weren't friends anymore. But the hardest part, Obinna, she hadn't spoken to him since that night. He had tried calling, sending messages, even showing up at her hostel, but she ignored him every time. It wasn't about whether or not she believed him. It didn't matter. He had been part of the destruction. He had been the wedge that tore them apart. One evening, Adanna sat alone in her room, staring at the ceiling, when a notification popped up on her phone. A picture, Chikaima and Obinna together. It was on Instagram, posted by one of their mutual friends. Chikaima had her arms wrapped around Obinna's waist, her head resting against his chest as she grinned at the camera. The caption was simple, "New couple alert." Adanna felt something sharp twist in her chest. It was real. Chikaima hadn't just hurt her in the moment. She had taken her place. The finality of it hit Adanna all at once. She could spend the rest of her time at the university angry, broken, and holding on to the pain, or she could let go. She closed the app, took a deep breath, and deleted Chikaima's number. She didn't cry, not this time. Instead, she picked up her laptop and started working on an assignment she had been avoiding for weeks. It was a small step, but it was a step because life moved on, and so would she.